Any escaped, just 21 released, most still missing. Boko Haram joined forces with ISIS last year, becoming its most sinister franchise.
They actually are far more lethal. They were far more lethal than ISIS ever was.
Unlike ISIS, Boko Haram's attacks are focused on Nigeria and neighboring countries.
It could be quite possible that Boko Haram has been defeated at its base camp, but they may have broken down into smaller units and are going underground back into clandestine terrorism.
As ISIS has already proven, losing ground doesn't mean they can't continue to kill. Lucy Kafanov, NBC News, London.
Now to the war in Syria, and we're getting an extraordinary look tonight at the incredible scope of devastation inside Aleppo, besieged for so many years. What was once a bustling, vibrant city, now reduced to rubble. NBC's Bill Neely was inside that war-torn city.
1 million people lived here, but East Aleppo is a ghost town now. It has emptied. 30,000 people evacuated in just over a week. Half of Syria's biggest city is destroyed. But Aleppo has lost more than that. War turned its ancient sites to battlefields and rubble. This was the Grand Mosque before the war. This is it today. 1,000 years of beauty blown to pieces. Gunmen were protected here, but not history. This was the market, the oldest in the world. Today, it's a charred ruin. After 1,200 years of business, it's an underground arsenal filled with snipers' nests and spent bullets. This was the Citadel, a World Heritage Site. Today, it's a camp for victorious Syrian troops. Its walls breached by shelling, its grounds where tens of thousands of tourists roamed, in ruins. Aleppo was one of the jewels of the Arab world, not anymore. Its collapse began when rebels seized the eastern half and the regime bombed relentlessly. Whole neighborhoods wiped out. People have lived here for 8,000 years. It claims to be the oldest inhabited city in the world, but they won't live here again. Amid this wasteland, people salvage scraps. They are surviving, but this is hardly living. It's hard to say this place is coming back to life after so much death. A death toll that's thought to be in the tens of thousands after years of airstrikes. But frankly, the exact figure may never be known. Half of Aleppo's people are now refugees, homeless and traumatized. Aleppo has fallen. It will take a generation to build it again. Bill Neely, NBC News, Aleppo.
Back now to politics and a look at one of the pressing issues facing the next president, health care for America's veterans. Donald Trump has yet to announce his pick to head the Department of Veterans Affairs, but he's already vowing to shorten the wait time to see a doctor and improve veterans' access to private health care. Still, as our Pentagon correspondent Hans Nichols explains, there are plenty of questions about how that'll work.
On his way to the White House, Donald Trump appealing to America's 22 million veterans.
One of the big problems is the wait time. Vets are waiting 6 days, 7 days, 8 days.
Part of Trump's plan, give every vet the option to go outside to a private practice of their choice. But similar options already exist for some veterans. The biggest one, Veterans' Choice. Dave Meyer, who served in Vietnam before returning home to Minnesota, tried it out for an eye exam.
It took longer than if I would have went to the VA.
The program was designed for vets like Meyer, those who live more than 40 miles from the closest VA. It's also for anyone who faces a wait time of more than 30 days.
It would be good if we could get more local. The VA could help, but the program they have isn't working for us.
Congress created the $10 billion program after a 2014 scandal revealed some veterans were dying, waiting for care. Nationally, wait times of more than 30 days are down. That's in part because doctors like Lawrence Goldberg, a non-VA ophthalmologist in Florida, are helping to clear the backlog.
They're putting these people off and holding back until they are in dire straits with their vision. and then sending them to me because they're not getting taken care of at the VA expeditiously.
But some doctors complain they're going months before getting reimbursed by the VA and may not continue in the program.
First few patients, it took over 6 months to get paid. They kept denying it.
The response from the VA? In the past 2 years, VA has increased access to care both inside VA and through our work with private healthcare providers. For Meyer, who drives vets to appointments across Minnesota, he says the best way to endure is by helping one another.
Anytime you're sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself, go spend a day at the VA. There's always somebody that's got it worse.
As for the future of veterans care, Trump could ask Congress to extend the program beyond next summer, expand it for all veterans, or create something entirely new. Hans Nichols, NBC News, Brainerd, Minnesota.
Tonight, Carrie Fisher remains in intensive care at a Los Angeles hospital 1 day after the Star Wars actress suffered a heart attack on board a flight from